Imagine a bank that never, ever loses money. Sounds incredible, right? Well, back before the 2008 financial crisis, one man seemed to have cracked the code. His name was Bernie Madoff, and he was arguably the most trusted man on Wall Street. This wasn't some nobody. He was the former chairman of the NASDAQ stock exchange. He managed money for Hollywood royalty like Steven Spielberg and countless charities and ordinary people. Everyone wanted in because Madoff delivered consistent, amazing returns, year after year, like clockwork. But then, on December 10th, 2008, with the world's economy crumbling, he sat his two sons down and told them the devastating truth. It is all just one big lie. The whole thing, his entire legendary fund, was a massive $64.8 billion Ponzi scheme. The biggest in history. So how did one man fool the entire world for so long? To understand, you have to realize Madoff wasn't some shady character operating out of a dark basement. He was a titan of finance, a genuine legend. He was a pioneer who helped create the very digital trading technology, the NASDAQ, that we still use today. His reputation was his shield. He was seen as an innovator, a pillar of the financial community. People thought he was simply too big, too successful, and too respected to ever cheat the system. His firm was exclusive, making it even more desirable. The perception was that if you were lucky enough to get your money managed by Bernie Madoff, you had truly made it. This aura of invincibility made people ignore the warning signs. But here's the craziest part of the story. Someone did see it. A brilliant, but relatively unknown, financial investigator and math whiz named Harry Markopolos figured the whole thing out. And he didn't figure it out in 2008 when it all came crashing down. He figured it out in 1999, nearly a decade earlier. He was asked by his boss to try and replicate Madoff's strategy to compete, and after just a few hours of running the numbers, he came to a shocking conclusion. It was mathematically impossible. The returns Madoff claimed to be making simply could not be achieved with the trading strategy he described. It was a fraud. Markopolos didn't just have a hunch, he had proof. Over the next 9 years, he compiled a detailed report titled "The World's Largest Hedge Fund is a Fraud" and sent it to the SEC, not once, not twice, but 5 separate times. Each time, the SEC, the very institution meant to protect investors, did a brief investigation and dropped it. They ignored him. Every single time. If you had seen the data, you wouldn't have even needed Markopolos' complex math to spot the fraud. All you had to do was look at a chart of Madoff's returns. It was a nearly perfect, straight, 45-degree line, heading steadily upward. Now, if you've ever seen a chart of the S&P 500 or any real stock market index, you know it doesn't look like that. A real market chart looks like a jagged mountain range, with peaks and valleys, ups and downs. No investment in the history of the world produces a perfectly smooth, straight line pointing to the sky. Madoff wasn't beating the market. He was drawing a fictional line. The data itself was screaming fraud at the top of its lungs. But the allure of steady, guaranteed profits was so powerful that it made regulators, financial experts, and thousands of investors completely blind to the obvious truth right in front of them. Greed is a powerful drug. Then came the fall. The 2008 financial crisis acted as the catalyst that brought the entire house of cards down. As markets around the world plummeted, Madoff's wealthy clients started getting nervous. They needed cash, and they began asking for their money back. A lot of it. In a short period, investors requested redemptions totaling over $7 billion. There was just one problem. The money wasn't there. Madoff had been using new investors' money to pay off the old ones. When the requests for withdrawals became bigger than the flow of new money coming in, the scheme was exposed. Of the $7 billion his clients wanted, Madoff only had a couple $100 million left. The lie had run its course. The scheme collapsed almost overnight, wiping out life savings, bankrupting charities, and destroying families. The lesson from this epic financial tragedy is timeless and painfully simple. If an investment opportunity looks too good to be true, it almost certainly is. even, and perhaps especially, if the person selling it is a legend. Thanks for watching. If you found this story fascinating, consider subscribing for more deep dives into incredible true stories.